Hey, good afternoon, Miss Amy Davis Moore. I am doing my video journal number 6 on WXII and all the information that they have inside of their public file. As I went through their public file, I didn't really go in the order that it lists on page 25, so please forgive me. But one of the things I checked out first was the ownership report, and the Hearst Group and Hearst Properties owns, the majority of WXII, but the ownership report was filled out correct, up to date. There was also a modification of licensed facility for the DirecTV that was in there, and there was some antenna technical data also in that DirecTV modification license, but that seemed to be up to date. They also had the EEO report listed in there, and it seemed to be up to date because they have more than 5 full-time employees. Well, actually, they have 5 or more full-time employees. So they had that listed in there, and that was up to date. WXII also had the contour map in there showing the whole area that they covered, which I thought that map was pretty cool. It's a pretty vast area, just a little bit wider than I thought, but kind of along the lines that I thought it was. But that was cool that they had the map and showed the whole outline and everything in there. I did check the federal politics files. Hillary and Trump both were in there. I guess they gave some advertising or, showed their campaigns for Hillary and Trump. So they had to keep those in the file. Those have to stay for at least 2 years whenever that happens. So those were in there, and I assume they won't be out to another year and a half or so, or another year. They also have their quarterly reports for the children's television programming. The last quarterly report for that was done January 5th of 2018. They also had, they had a listing of citizen agreements in there. There was a listing, however, it said none inside of the file. So I'm not sure if it was supposed to be like that. I figured there was supposed to be something in there, but that one had none in there. And there was also a Class A TV continuing eligibility file in there. But yeah, the file for citizen agreement said not applicable. It didn't say none. It said not applicable. I got it right here in my notes. It also said the Class A TV continuing eligibility file was not applicable. So maybe the FCC gave them permission to take that out. There were 21 issues and programs listed. Like I said, they were under the children's programs in that list. That last one was under January 5th of 2018. The latest filed joint sales agreement that was in the file was dated January 29th of 2013. So I'm assuming that there's been no other sales agreement since 2013, which was the last time when they had Hearst Properties. There was a Hearst Family Trust earlier, but then Hearst Properties looked like it was the main owner on January 29th of 2013, and there's been no other filing since that date as far as joint sales agreements go. The last must carry or retransmission consent was done in October of 2017, October the 27th, 2017. The quarterly records were in line for the children's programming, the commercial limits on the children's programming, because they have to limit the commercials whenever there's children's programs. So they had quarterly reports on that. So that would look to be up to date. That also was done in January, was the last one, which I would assume that was the fourth quarter. And then you've got January, February, March, and so they have to file a second quarter. There was a limited local marketing agreement that was dated July 31st of 2017. There were some FCC authorization documents, license for channel sharing. And also there was station history records going back to the last year. There was a full year of station history records, things that happened in the station. I didn't really go into detail looking at it because I knew this video journal would probably be long enough just for me listing everything out. And then there was an auction transaction common certification that was not in the file. There was a donor list that was not in the file. There was a file named donor list, but either there were no donors or they just didn't list them, or maybe the FCC gave them permission to take it out after X amount of time. There was an FCC investigation file. It had a date on it of November 20th of 2013. However, there was nothing in the file. There was nothing labeled, named, listed of what the investigation was. So I'm assuming that the amount of time, I think that was also 2 years, or whenever the FCC gives you permission to go ahead and take that out, that WXII went on ahead and took that file out from whatever that investigation was. So it did show a date, but however, there was no file to be read in there. There was no information on third-party fundraising in the file. There was a file on it, but there was nothing in there. And local public notice announcements, there was nothing in that file. And political matters and controversial issues disclosures. There was a file named political matters and controversial issues disclosures, but there was nothing in it. I'm assuming that everything was up to date based upon what I saw. WXII looked to be good. I don't think they want to go off the airways. But based upon what I saw, I think they're okay. And that's WXII, their FCC public file, the information that I found. Thank you for listening.